Welcome to the Expert CRE Secrets podcast, where we believe most commercial real estate brokers and luxury realtors, they struggle with clarifying their passive income options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven brokerage strategy such as the EXP commercial model and purchasing investment real estate is the best way for you to grow your wealth. Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts, and each episode I'm joined by some of the best commercial real estate brokers, agents, luxury realtors, and passive income wealth advisors in the world, where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex broker strategies simple and passive income plans achievable. We're also streaming live on Capital Gains Tax Solutions on the YouTube channel there, where we talk about things like deferring capital gains taxes, not using a 1031 exchange, and all kinds of other things like that. So I'm excited about our next guest. He is a rock star when it comes to all things marketing and all things commercial real estate. He's really kind of pioneered the way to, we call it the future proofing your business as well as in your marketing. He's a nationally recognized leader and content creator in the commercial real estate, retail, restaurant, franchise, and digital media spaces. He actually started his commercial real estate career in 2001 as a real estate salesperson, and he happened to secure the Starbucks coffee account in Long Island, New York. He shortly thereafter discovered Chipotle while visiting a friend in Los Angeles and helped design and execute their early New York expansion. He went on and pursued, he was pursued by CB Richard Ellis, and he became an integral part of their retail services team in 2007. And then fast forward to 2010, he left CBR Richard Ellis to start Sperry, or Sabre, a better way to pronounce it, a premier cloud-based national commercial real estate firm. Please welcome to the show with me, Jayson Siano. Hey, Jayson, how you doing?
What's up, Brett? Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Excited to have you on the show. Sorry about the little hiccup there.
That's quite all right, man. I'm used to it. You're on the fly. You got to roll with it.
Sometimes you got to roll with it, right? And then you just edit it right and just restart and just say, hey, you know what? That one was really bad. But it's part of creating content, right? Which we're going to be talking all about in today's episode, and kind of getting over yourself, right? And getting and going and creating the content that your clients and the people that you're serving need. But before we go there, Jay, I want to help our audience get to know you a little bit more. So would you tell us a little bit more about your story and your current focus?
Yeah, for sure. So, I started out, as you mentioned, in 2001, working for a small boutique retail real estate firm in Long Island, New York. Had some success early there, landed, as you mentioned, the Starbucks coffee account, who I still represent in that market today. And then had the just wonderful opportunity to work with companies like Chipotle and work with Steve Ells, the founder, helped them enter the New York market, and then discovered a few other concepts that I was working for beyond New York Metro when I started at CBRE, namely Massage Envy. My franchisees, area developers for Massage Envy, ended up discovering European Wax Center and partnering with the Cobra brothers. I helped them franchise that essentially and expand that concept. And then they started a company called Orange Theory Fitness, which I was at from the ground floor, advising them on how to design their strategy and execute that. So over my 20 years, I have grown into a trusted advisor for concepts of all sizes across the country.
Amazing, Jay. We're going to dive into all of those things and the things that you're seeing and future-proofing your business.
Yeah.
Before we go there, though, I want to take one other step back, and I want you maybe to go back to the university days or the high school days, right? I believe we've all been given certain gifts in this life, and some people call them strengths, some people call them superpowers. I believe they're God-given gifts, and these gifts have been given to us to be a blessing and help to others. So I'm curious, what are those one or two gifts, Jay, that you believe you were given, and how does that help how you help and bless people today?
That's such a great question. I realized that I was given a gift to serve others, to add value to other people with no expectations in return, and that goes well beyond commercial real estate. I like to say that, today I'm in the human development business, and we also happen to be really good at real estate. And I think that is, I would say, the best gift that I was given, along with the confidence that my parents instilled in me. To basically tell me I could be anything I want to be when I grow up. And, I think encouraging other people who maybe lack that self-awareness or confidence is something that I'm also able to do.
Amazing. Love that. Add value with no expectation of return. And then the internal belief of you can do, you can achieve and be what you want to be. So that's great. And then instilling that in others, which is very, very, very important. Okay, great. So let's dive right into the topic of the episode, which is future-proofing your business. So would you define for us what that means and why it's so important to you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally believe that, you have to look at yourself as a media company. And I'm saying myself as a human, is kind of the parent or the holding company for everything that I do. And, that obviously trickles down into my different businesses, and Sabre being one of those. So, I believe that in order to thrive in this digital world, and I've been saying this for a long time, well before the pandemic, that if you're not creating a personal brand and leveraging media and digital marketing and social media, that you're eventually going to be invisible and irrelevant and likely go out of business. So I've always referred to that as future-proofing yourself or future-proofing your business.
Excellent. And so what's the number one secret you have found to do just that?
When people know you, they have the opportunity to like you and trust you, and that means you have a good chance of doing business with them.
And how are you best doing that today, Jay? What are some of the things that you can think that commercial real estate brokers are not doing, right? Or business professionals are not doing, right? And maybe even we can probably talk about it. It's going to be video, it's going to be podcast, right? But more so, what's the one biggest secret to overcome the false belief or whatever the challenge has? What were yours in the beginning, right? Tell us your story from traditional broker, right? Stephen Richard Ellis to marketing, and what you do now online.
Yeah, for sure. So, when I got into the business, I realized pretty quickly that, you kind of, or I felt, I should say, that you had to act a certain way, look a certain way, regardless of what your likes or interests are in commercial real estate, very traditional industry. I was a DJ, nightclub promoter, very creative, into music, fashion, streetwear, street culture, things of that nature. So I felt like I had to kind of act a certain way in order to fit in and get, earn success in the industry. And then over the years, I started to realize that, my strengths were actually, and my superpowers, as you mentioned earlier, were actually all about my uniqueness, right? So the more that I got comfortable becoming myself in business, the more I excelled and the more success I achieved. So, it got to a certain point where, I was able to, by starting my own company, I was able to, really lean heavily into that, and also attract like-minded people who felt like they didn't necessarily belong at these larger, corporate commercial real estate brokerage companies. And from there, I started to really pay attention to what folks like Gary Vaynerchuk and Ryan Serhant were doing, Ryan on the residential side. And I had the good fortune of spending time with Gary and Ryan and talking about just the traditional brokerage model and, what we all thought would happen over time. And I was very much of the mindset that where you hang your license over time wouldn't matter as much in the event that you knew how to, develop your own brand, had the resources and the tools in order to be good at what you do. You could very much, be entrepreneurial and work for yourself essentially. And, later on that EXP component came in very handy when partnering with them to kind of take all of that to another level. This world, even before the pandemic, I was betting heavily on a very agent-first, cloud-based offering in the brokerage business. And by the way, I also always looked at the term broker as almost a four-letter word. I think it's a derogatory term because, I'm more of a trusted advisor, the same way that a financial advisor would be to my clients. So, I believe in doing the right thing and always putting your clients first. And, at this stage, I'm fortunate to be able to, more or less pick and choose which clients that I want to, work with and so on and so forth. But, it's an exciting time for all of those reasons, because I think, a lot of people show up as a different version of themselves at home with their family, out having beers with friends, with clients, in the car, site touring, etc. And I think that the pandemic fast forwarded a lot of the things that we were doing at Sabre already.
Yeah, Jay, I connect with that so much, and I absolutely love your story, right? Of you felt like you had to act a certain way and like things in a certain way, or be a certain way, and it wasn't being true to yourself. And the superpower became saying, you know what, I'm gonna have the courage to just do the things that I believe are gonna A, serve my clients, of course, always, right? But B, look at things in a new way and do it in a different way and create something new, right? I've heard this. I've kind of coined this from multiple leaders. I don't know who said this. I don't know quite who to give the gift to, or the credit to. But it goes like this: it's fulfillment. Fulfillment formula is this: the gift that you've been given. We've all been given certain gifts, right? Times the maximizing of the potential of those gifts, times the number of people we impact. That equals fulfillment. And that applies to all areas of your life, whether it be for your family. Like, what's that number one gift that you were given to serve your family, right? Of course, it's multiple things, but how are you maximizing that gift, right? And then how are you impacting your kids or your family with that? And the same thing with your team, right? So what's that gift you've been given? For you talked about, belief and instilling belief in others, right? And believing in themselves, right? So how are you maximizing that gift, that potential of that gift you've been given? How are you doing that to impact your team members? That's going to equal more fulfillment. And then, of course, bringing it full circle for the clients, the same thing. You're saying, look, my creative mind and the way I can market and the way I can change and be your trusted advisor, that is my gift. I'm maximizing that potential, right? And I'm impacting more clients. That equals fulfillment. So any thoughts on that, Jay?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, I'm purpose driven, right? So I'm not focused on, how much money can my company make? How much money can I make? Which I think is not necessarily the way that most people in my position approach our industry. And I'm blessed to do so. I truly enjoy actually helping other people be the best, version of themselves and showing up today as their future self. And that's really what gets me excited and gets me out of bed in the morning, is how many other people can I possibly spread positivity with and create community with. And I live very much in an abundance mindset, which is also rare in commercial real estate. I think a lot of folks have a scarcity mindset where they believe, if I, give you something, it means I'm going to have less. I think that's, quite opposite of the truth. I think that if you actually provide other people with value, it comes back to you tenfold. I also believe money doesn't lead, it follows. And I think, the most innovative, successful, impactful people on the planet, show up because they're super passionate about what they do. And, at the end of the day, they may make a lot of money because, of the impact that they've made, but they're not doing it for the money. And I think that there's a paradigm shift in commercial real estate brokerage. I think that a renaissance is happening in a lot of ways. And the reason that I'm so passionate about what I do and helping young people in the industry is it's a very, very difficult industry to even be mediocre in. It's a very difficult industry to survive in, especially in times that are a downturn or not necessarily a great economy and things of that nature. It typically wipes out a generation. Happened in 2008, through the pandemic. It happened again. I look at it as, part of my job to make sure that I'm helping young people have an easier chance of potentially surviving this business in this industry and thriving in this business. And that's where I like to spend my time. And of course, it means being able to bring some of those folks into Sabre. I also have a community called the CRE Digital Army, which is helping people in the commercial real estate industry develop a personal brand, understand digital marketing, leverage social media in any aspect of what they do in the business. And it helps you understand how to be top of mind. Right. I believe that brand and sales are equally important, but without brand, you have to knock on doors every day. Fortunately, through my content creation and my like-minded community, People are discovering me and the good work that we're doing, and asking us to hop on a Zoom call or talk about how we could potentially help them. We also have a very good knack for understanding people's businesses and pain points. We also want to understand what their exit strategy is. Everybody has a different plan for their business, and we can help them well beyond the real estate process.
By the way, thank you, Jay. Beautiful. You can learn more about Jay Siano at Sperry or sabre.com. That's SABRE. I'm sorry, .life.
That's right.
Sabre.life. SABRE.life. And you can also find Jay on Instagram at Jayson. Oh, it's at the Y, by the way. JAYSON Siano. SIANO. So Jay, okay, so we've talked about the first kind of step or secret, if you will, for future proofing your business, and then you touched a little bit on commercial real estate, right? So, where do you see the future of commercial real estate business, and how what changes have you made to make sure that you and your team are successful moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. So, as I mentioned, we've really established a national footprint on the tenant side. We like to work with companies from the top down. We are advising typically the founders and the C-suite of a company, and helping them, design their rollout strategies and executing those strategies throughout the country and Canada. So, I believe that on the retail side, which is where we spend most of our time, and retail today is different than what it was 20 years ago. There's it's a gray area, right? Because it kind of creeps over into the co-working space at times. It creeps over into the industrial space with the Amazon effect and the internet, obviously. So, I'm a firm believer that folks do not need the same, store on every corner in every neighborhood to go buy the same yellow sweater. They can order those things, online, and the needs of the consumer have changed drastically over the last 20 years, and the internet is just starting to reach maturity. So, we're just at the tip of the iceberg as to what's to come. So, I think our economy and our culture is very much convenience driven. Especially with the younger folks, the microwave generation, as at times we like to refer to the young people who want everything instantaneously because they're growing up with devices that allow them to get things instantly. So, I think that our role is going to continue to change. An average commercial real estate broker is going to get replaced by technology with easy access to data for everybody. We're using a lot of AI. What we do is both an art and a science, and we're very good at both sides. But obviously, you have to be able to work the tools in order to, make good use of the data. So I don't think humans will be replaced, but I think average commercial real estate brokers are a dying breed, and it's happening faster than ever. As a result of, again, the pandemic fast forwarding everything about 5 to 7 years.
Excellent. So now let's shift to just a degree here and talk about brokerage, right? So old CB Richard Ellis, and my background is Marcus Millichap, right? And the old school kind of brokerage model. And by the way, amazing company, great training, learned a ton. But it was very corporate. It felt like kind of like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, right? And especially with the mentor-mentee relationships, and/or you bring someone in, you give them your secrets, you train them up, and then they're cold calling next to you in another cube or another office, or they leave to like the CB Richard Ellis or the Sperry Van Ness, right? And now you're like, wow, like the loyalty wasn't necessarily built in because of the model. So would you tell us about your experience and your journey from the old model, let's say, into even your own brokerage, right? And then moving over to EXP Commercial, which is also what I'm a part of as well, EXP Commercial.
Yeah, for sure. So, starting with the first part of the question, we again, I believe that the days of getting young people to show up in an office and handing them a desk with a computer and a phone are not going to last very long, and just asking them to canvass streets and show up at the end of the week and turn over all the information that they went out and got on their own to the more senior level people. And I think that people have been, and myself included, have been taken advantage of as long as the commercial real estate brokerage model has existed in its current form. I think it's unfair. I think it's an elitist system that keeps everybody at the top fat and happy, and burns and churns through the younger people, and gives them, again, less of a chance to actually survive the business and more importantly thrive. So I've kind of deconstructed the brokerage model. We have different people that focus on different parts of the process. We refer to them as finders, minders, and grinders. And they have a different kind of skill set that they are naturally good at or enjoy more. I believe that you should lean into your strengths and surround yourself with people that are better at the things that you're weaker at or do not enjoy, because at the end of the day, happy people are going to be more productive people. So we're very, very team collaborative, in nature. And what's very unique about what we do at Sabre is we based on, again, our unique way of approaching the business. Oftentimes, a lot of our new clients are referral. You need to talk to Jay. You should be speaking with Sabre, et cetera, et cetera. And we're very fortunate. I mean, it's 20 years now, so thankfully, we're at a place where a lot of that, the new business, the biz dev, is inbound. So we're able to, and since we cover the whole country, we're able to bring on folks throughout the country and put them directly into accounts and directly into deals. So I like to say that we could fast forward folks' real estate careers. And we're doing a great job at that. And what makes me happy about it is, and what I think part of our secret sauce there is that when I'm developing new leads and businesses coming into Sabre, I'm an owner in the business, right? I'm not a broker at CBRE who brings on a junior person and anything that goes to that junior is coming out of my pocket. It's just not that way. And I think that's a detriment of the way that teams work at these very large brokerage companies. So I think that right there is going to change how the industry moves moving forward. In addition to that, I think that influencers and folks with large followings through social media will end up selling more real estate, whether it's commercial or residential, than legacy real estate brokers in this world and in the future. So, not only do we encourage folks to use social media, we train them on how to do it. We have a team of people and a digital marketing company in-house, as well as a lot of folks that are freelance and that we outsource work to. And we're able to help folks create their social profiles and learn how to use them to our advantage. And so, we've actually acquired quite a few brokers from those more traditional corporate companies who frown upon them using social media.
So having the innovation, having that open ways of doing businesses, new ways of doing businesses, right? And seeing. I know for me, that's what was really attractive with EXP, in that it's not just a real estate brokerage company. It's a technology company. It's a leadership company. It's a collaboration company, and it's truly, you're on the ownership side, right? Even though you haven't given up your company, right? It's just powered by, or on the platform EXP. So for those who are listening, who are commercial real estate brokers, and wondering, like, why wouldn't I join? What would be a reason someone wouldn't want to join EXP, Jay?
Because they like being stuck on the commission hamster wheel and not creating financial freedom for themselves and their families by things like stock and rev share. For me, again, I'm super impact driven. I know that I could do it myself, and over the next 2 decades, right? At that point, I'd be in the business for 4 decades, and I'm sure that I could, slowly cover the entire country and, start to really make more impact through that reach on my own over time. But the EXP platform allows me to pour gasoline on what I'm already doing. Oh, and by the way, even though I think we have a very unique offering at Sabre without EXP, with EXP, it solves a lot of the pain points that I can't solve being a small business. I can't offer everybody access to health insurance. I can't automatically hire somebody due to licensing things all across the US or world for that matter, without EXP. In addition to that, again, I starved my way through my first handful of years in this business and sacrificed a lot of things to do so. And if I had different opportunities to earn income, again, like the stock or the rev share, it might have been easier for me at the beginning of my career. And again, that's what I want for other people. I don't want people to have to struggle, the way that I did to get ahead. And by the way, not many people, 2-3 years into their career are representing Starbucks and Chipotle exclusively. And I was struggling, even though I had those clients. So, I think that salesperson's draws are as bad as student debt. It's not really talked about frequently, but again, I think it's, people at the top offering out draws because it kind of keeps those younger agents in place, even when they're trained up and they want to move on to better themselves. I look at it in a very different way. If somebody wants to move on and there's a better opportunity for them, I want to help them with that better opportunity, whether Sabre, Siano are involved or not. And that's very, very different than how the rest of the industry works. The minute that I discovered EXP and what Glenn had created, I knew that, it was going to absolutely change the industry.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Jay. And so much wisdom there. And I just think about Robert Kiyosaki, right? In the cash flow quadrant, right? What side of the quadrant are you on, right? Are you on the self-employed or a W-2 employee, right, versus business owner and an investor? And it truly, finally, for the first time, in an elegant, beautiful, collaborative, amazing way, moves the broker from the left side of the quadrant over to the right side of the quadrant. And once you understand that, you're no longer renting your brokerage, you're now owning a part of a larger brokerage, right? Through stock share, through revenue share, and that unlocks freedom, right? Freedom and to give 100%. Back to the 50-50 thing at Marcus and Millichap. I thought it felt like, right? It felt like I was only good to them as if like you said, get the information, bring the deals, get the meeting, and then you got to give up 50% to your mentor. And there's definitely value there, but at a certain point that the value diminishes, and it was always the big Marcus and Millichap getting, let's say making the billions, right? Where I say now, instead of making the billions for the big, corporation, how about we make the millions and the hundreds of thousands, let's say for the agent, the troop, the troops on the ground. Now let's take the millions here. Let's take those billions and let's share it in a way that's more equitable. So any thoughts on that, Jay?
Yeah, I think that's right. I just think those big shops, again, their value prop is diminishing over time, and especially with work from anywhere. I was just interviewed to get my thoughts on work from home and what the office culture will look like moving forward and things of that nature. And I just laughed. I said, I want to work from anywhere. I mean, and by the way, I was at my desk in my office every day through the pandemic. It's just how I'm built. But if I decided that I wanted to get up and go anywhere right now, and I would not miss a beat. And that's the beauty of technology. And so how are these big shops going to expect those big splits to continue when, I don't really need your tools and resources the same way that I did 10, 15, 20 years ago. Oh, and by the way, I'm not coming to the office anymore. So that's my 100%.
Thought. So by the way, if you want to learn more about that, you can contact me or Jay. And to learn more about EXP Commercial and the future of real estate, we're 100% believers all in, and think it would be the best move if you're in the commercial real estate, luxury real estate space, residential real estate space, all of the above. Also the business brokerage, that's another part of it too. M&A and business brokerage is opening up. It's truly the Amazon of the real estate brokerage world. And so you can learn more about that at expertcresecrets.com. You can also contact Jay, which we're going to leave his information here in a minute after the lightning round. Jay, you ready?
Let's go.
All right. Knowing what you know now, Jay, if you can go back to your 25-year-old self, what's the one golden nugget you'd make sure to tell yourself to do?
Ooh, wow, man. Enjoy my youth. I lost my mother right after college to cancer. and that threw me into my career, head first. And not that I lost a part of my childhood as the result, because I was in my early 20s at the time, but I wish I would have just enjoyed life a little bit more and took it a little less seriously in those years.
Very well said. Number one book you've read or recommended the past year?
Man, I did 75 hard during the pandemic, so I've read a lot of books. Grit by Angela, I think it's Duckworth, was and Start With Why. I think those is it Start With Why or Finding My Way? Those two books were very impactful. Because I truly believe that if you want to be great at something, you truly have to be obsessed with it, because it's very, very difficult to be, at the top 1% of anything. If you're finding yourself having to be pushed towards it as opposed to pulled.
Very well said. Yeah, Simon Sinek, Start With Why, and then Grit, Angela Duckworth. Awesome. Third question: what are you most curious about right now?
When people are going to understand the power of social media. I started, walking around with a videographer 5 years ago, where the whole industry laughed at me because I was a real estate professional walking around shooting video content. Today, a lot of those naysayers are fans and implementing it themselves in their business. I wish more of them would have listened to me that long ago, because my company has grown from a small little local shop into a nationally recognized, arguably, top national advisory firm in the commercial real estate space. And I believe a lot of that is a result of, seeking discomfort and not living in fear of other people's opinions.
Amazing. Absolutely love it. Second to last question. And it's the number one challenge facing commercial real estate brokers. If you had to narrow it down to just one sentence, what is it?
You're not as necessary as you were a week ago.
Mm-hmm. Right. Ever-changing technology and automation.
Yeah, we used to be the gatekeepers to a lot more information. And as the more traditional legacy folks in the industry retire out, or just decide that they don't need to work as hard any longer, there's going to be a lot of young people that are coming in and grew up a completely different way and understand what I'm talking about. And I think that the people who think that again, digital marketing and social media are a nice to have and not a necessity, are in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, very well said, Jay. A last question: after all your success, growing your companies, helping many brokers, helping national, credit tenants and clients and sales, how do you stay centered in your values, Jay? And how do you stay encouraged to charge forward to reach new heights?
I really focus on trying to be a better person than I was yesterday. And I believe that success is finding happiness. So I wake up every day in pursuit of happiness, and that changes every day for me. But, a lot of the things that have helped me get where I am are non-negotiable. Health, fitness, wellness are very important to me. And I think that, focusing on 4 buckets in life: mind, body, business, and relationships, and trying to keep those buckets all filled as equally as possible, so one's not too high and the other one's not too low. If you can focus on that in your mind and be mindful of that, and act as if somebody's watching you at all hours and make decisions based on that, and how you want your kids to view you and remember you when you're no longer here, you'll be successful.
Jay, so much wisdom even in the last 20 seconds. I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for leading the way with the commercial real estate industry to step outside the box and do things that are discomfort, that weren't maybe the norm, right? And joining eXp Commercial and growing your company. For the listeners who want to get in touch with you, can you remind them one last time where they can find you?
Yeah, for sure. Jayson Siano, JAYSON on Instagram. You could find me everywhere from there. Saber, again, as you mentioned, Saber, SAB CBRE, right there, .life, L-I-F-E. And I would urge you to check out our YouTube channel as well, Sabre Real Estate on YouTube. There's 5 years of video content in there, so you can kind of see the process. It doesn't happen overnight, and I would tell you that you guys should be as aggressive as possible in a 24-hour period and as patient as possible in a decade.
Amazing. Thanks, Jay, for being on the show. And I also want to thank our listeners for listening to the episode of the Expert CRE Secrets podcast. As always, we believe most commercial real estate brokers, luxury realtors, even business owners, they struggle with clarifying their passive income options. Not having a clear plan is the enemy, and using a proven brokerage strategy such as the EXP commercial model and purchasing investment real estate is the best way for you to grow your wealth. Hey, if you want to hear more and see how the EXP commercial model is hands down the best way to grow your commercial real estate or even luxury real estate business, you go to expertcresecrets.com. That's expertcresecrets.com. And you can also go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com, where you can learn about how to eliminate the need for the 1031 exchange, how to defer capital gains taxes on the sale of cryptocurrency, primary homes, save a failed 1031 exchange using the Deferred Sales Trust. That's capitalgainstaxsolutions.com. Thanks so much for listening to another episode. Please rate, review, subscribe. Please share this with somebody who can help. We so appreciate it.